Welcome to a journey through the mystical pages of history. You stand before a portal to the secrets that even the sharpest scientific minds cannot fully decipher. You're on the TopFacts channel, and we've gathered for you 20 of the most astonishing photographs capturing mysteries and discoveries from around the world. Each of these snapshots offers its own perspective on unexplainable events and objects from our past. What will these photos reveal to you? A quite intricate device was discovered at the site of an ancient shipwreck near the Greek island of Antikythera in 1901. Damaged remnants of an old mechanism that, upon research, turned out to be a primitive analog computer. This device served as a reminder of dates, calculated positions of celestial bodies, and performed computations involving significant numbers such as upcoming solar and lunar eclipses, as well as the Olympic Games. A total of 82 fragments were extracted and identified, with only 7 helping to ascertain the purpose of the device. Dating back to the 1st or 2nd century BCE, this ancient Greek mechanism was a system of interconnected gears, set in motion by turning a handle, which then rotated other gears. It resembled a wooden box with bronze panels and dials on both sides. We can be certain that even back then, people possessed an advanced understanding of astronomy. They could predict celestial phenomena and track the movements of heavenly bodies. Such technological complexity is not typically associated with ancient societies, even Greek ones. This reveals a gap in our understanding of the knowledge of ancient civilizations and an underestimation of their technological achievements. Who knows? Perhaps geniuses like Archimedes of Syracuse or Hipparchus of Nicaea had a hand in these ingenious creations. Polish book dealer Wilfred Voynich acquired this enigmatic manuscript in 1912, a 15th century script book resembling a codex filled with mysterious illustrations and text in an unknown language. This manuscript has confounded the brightest minds worldwide. It features captivating botanical illustrations, astronomical diagrams, depictions of bathers, and pharmaceutical images. However, it doesn't correspond to any known astronomical, botanical, medical chronicles, or textbooks. Moreover, many of the depicted plant species remain unidentified and do not resemble any known earthly plants. The astronomical charts also baffle. Neither constellations nor planetary systems align with any modern understanding. The manuscript became a subject of discussion and was eventually deemed an alchemical document or speculative fantasy of its time, possibly a pharmacopoeia. Despite numerous decryption attempts, the manuscript's text and the meanings behind its peculiar illustrations remain an unsolved puzzle, inviting us into a world of intrigue, secrets, and perhaps the whims of an unknown alchemist. People from all over the world come to Florence to the Palazzo Vecchio Museum to see the famous painting Madonna with Saint Giovannino, which was created in the 15th century by the artist Domenico Ghirlandaio. However, it's not just because of its beauty or historical value. There's something both eerie and captivating about the painting, a mystery from the past or the future. As we know, in those times, there couldn't be random brushstrokes on a canvas. Every tiny detail either served as an allegory or conveyed a specific message. So in the upper right corner above Madonna, in the sky, you can clearly discern a disc-shaped object. And in the distance on the shore, there's a person with a dog gazing at this object. Thus, this is not a coincidence or a fly. The enigma lies not in the main subject of the painting, but in the secondary details. If you look closely, you'll notice a bright golden light emanating from the object. The man with the dog seems to be shielding his eyes, possibly from the intense brightness. The shape and the radiance of the object have led some observers to speculate that it's an unidentified flying object, and the painting might be a historical record of extraterrestrial existence. The depicted light also emits a kind of otherworldly, mystical signal. Skeptics argue that the depiction of a deity, possibly an angel or the Holy Spirit, might also carry an element of magical radiance, such as the image of the Star of Bethlehem or a miraculous sign in the heavens. Despite these interpretations, the exact meaning of the strange object in the painting remains unknown, and the painting itself continues to be a highly valuable mystery. Sometimes, doubts about the authenticity of historical photos can arise, and here's an interesting example. A photograph that was bought for $2 in a souvenir shop in 2010. The photo, presumably taken in 1870, depicts the legendary outlaw Billy the Kid. The Kid. There are many chronicles about this historical criminal, but only one authentic photo exists, showing Billy the Kid and his gang, the Regulators, peacefully playing croquet in the company of their ladies. If the second photo had turned out to be genuine, it would have become the second and last, potentially worth millions of dollars. Establishing its authenticity was a challenging task, and facial recognition software revealed a match between the person in the portrait and the figure playing croquet. However, doubts persisted. The scene of the game somehow doesn't align with the Wild West bandits' lifestyle. Undoubtedly, the photograph garnered tremendous interest from historians and the general public alike, becoming the subject of a National Geographic documentary film. In 2010, an intriguing photograph from the early 1940s once again sparked debates and speculations. In 1941, during the opening of the South Forks Bridge in Goldbridge, British Columbia, a crowd gathered, which is natural for such a significant event. However, even without careful scrutiny, it's evident from the picture that one figure stands out conspicuously from the crowd, as if the character got the era wrong. He was dubbed the time-traveling hipster. He is dressed in modern clothing, including a logo t-shirt, a hoodie, and sunglasses, all of which are remarkably out of place for 1941. Moreover, he seems to be holding a modern camera in his hands, adding another layer of mystery to the photo. Skeptics offered reasonable explanations. Yes, sunglasses could have already existed. The logo on the t-shirt could be from a Montreal hockey team. The sweater could have been a contemporary item available in the 1940s. As for the camera, it could have been a Kodak, a compact folding model that, although rare, did exist. The photo presents a curious contradiction, making us start to think about countless books and movies about time travel. What if this isn't just science fiction or fantasy? The time-traveling hipster remains an enigma. Whether it's someone's clever prank on a historical photograph, a genuinely ultra-fashionable character, or an optical illusion. What do you think? And again, the time traveler. Sometimes the most intriguing mysteries manifest in ordinary circumstances, like the story of an undated photograph from the 1930s. In the photo, we see beachgoers on the shores of British Columbia in Canada. Among the typical beach attire of that era, only one person stands out, generating bewilderment with their appearance of a contemporary surfer. Could this also be a time traveler? The young man in question appears to be wearing a modern graphic t-shirt, swim shorts, and his hair is tousled, reminiscent of hairstyles from the late 20th century. This is clearly not the fashion typical of the 1930s. Skeptics abound, and they have debunked the myth of a future visitor. They assert that the t-shirt and shorts are rolled-up sweater and trousers, acceptable for a hot day at the beach, and his modern hairstyle could be windblown or simply wet hair. This photograph continues to provoke debates and assumptions, and despite logical explanations being present, some still want to believe it's a surfer in time, catching a retro wave. One of the most perplexing photographs in recent history was taken during a serene family outing in 1964. Jim Templeton, a firefighter, photographed his young daughter in a field near Solway Firth, along the Irish Sea's western shores in the UK. When the photo was developed, an unexpected figure appeared in the background, resembling an astronaut in a spacesuit. It appears that a tall figure in a helmet or cowl and white attire is turned away from the camera. Templeton claimed that no one else was present in the frame when he took the shot. The film was even examined by Kodak experts and police photographers who found no evidence of tampering. Skeptics dismissed it again, suggesting that the astronaut was actually Templeton's wife, accidentally caught in the frame. Her blue dress might appear white in the photo, and the helmet could be a whimsical occurrence of her hair in the shot. The photo became the subject of numerous TV shows and documentaries, as well as fuel for speculation about aliens, time travel, and otherworldly beings. The world map created in 1513 and named after its creator, the Ottoman explorer and cartographer Ahmed Muhiddin Piri, attracted attention with its detailed depiction of various parts of the world: Europe and Asia, Africa, both Americas, the Azores and Canary Islands, Atlantic Islands, Japan, and even the boundary lines of the eternal Antarctic ice, which was quite unbelievable. If that's the case, someone mapped Antarctica centuries before its discovery in 1773. In 1513, European knowledge of the New World was still rudimentary, yet this map portrayed geographic features with an unprecedented level of accuracy for that time. For instance, it depicted the coastline of Antarctica without considering the eternal ice. The last time Antarctica was free of ice was about 34 million years ago. Who could have known the detailed contours of the continent's landmass? How could Piri have had access to such information? Although the map is believed to have been compiled from various sources, including ancient knowledge, could it have been based on insights from lost civilizations? Skeptics suggest that the depiction of Antarctica might be speculative, and the detailed rendering might simply be meticulous artistic license. Mariners of that era expressed their perceptions of the world rather than its actual outlines. Nonetheless, the Piri race map continues to puzzle researchers with its remarkable precision. Perhaps our distant ancestors knew much more about our planet than we do? In 1889, workers were drilling a water well in Nampa, Idaho, and stumbled upon a tiny clay figurine at a depth of around 300 feet. The artifact was named the Nampa Figurine. The female figurine appears to be a handcrafted souvenir, a traditional example of early civilization's creativity. But here's the catch. The depth at which it was found corresponds to geological layers dating back approximately 2 million years ago, well before the appearance of humans on Earth. The region was considered uninhabited during that time. What ancient civilizations could have existed here? Conventional science refers to it as a drilling-induced anomaly, or a more recent artifact that somehow got sucked into deeper layers due to unknown natural processes. The Nampa figurine remains an intriguing enigma in the archaeological community. Archaeologists often discover objects that challenge our understanding of the world, and these perplexing finds usually bring about more questions than answers. These enigmatic discoveries are exemplified by figurines found at the Ubeid site in Iraq, predating even the Sumerian civilization. The figurines, dated from the 6th to 4th centuries BCE, have humanoid forms but display distinct reptilian features: elongated almond-shaped heads, serpent-like eyes, and scaly skin. Some figurines even depict humanoid lizards engaged in everyday activities like caring for infants or managing servants. Imagine a lizard nanny. The origin of the Ubeid culture, like the Sumerian, remains unknown. It is believed that this civilization began in the same region, ancient Mesopotamia, in present-day Iraq. Besides reed harvesting, fishing, and farming, they had a developed culture and architecture, including monumental structures. Yet their true purpose remains elusive. Even if they partially associated humans or deities with birds or reptiles, we can only infer that some of their gods emerged from the sea, while others had celestial origins. These stone spheres are hidden deep in the rainforests of Costa Rica, at the mouth of the Diquis River, and they have intrigued archaeologists and researchers. For centuries, these perfect spherical stones, ranging in size from a few centimeters to over 2 meters in diameter, have captured imaginations and prompted countless speculations about their origin and purpose. While the exact formation process remains a mystery, one thing is clear. They were crafted with such precision that they have baffled experts who are trying to understand how ancient civilizations achieved such symmetrical perfection. The spheres are made of a type of igneous rock called granodiorite, similar to granite, a not-so-soft material. This fact makes the creation even more impressive, and its purpose remains an enigma. There are theories that the spheres were used for astronomical or religious purposes. Alternatively, they might have served as navigation landmarks or territorial boundaries. Another hypothesis suggests that they might have been inherited from a lost ancient civilization, or even have extraterrestrial origins. These spheres have become a national relic for Costa Rica's indigenous population and have been listed as a UNESCO World Heritage Site. Attempts to understand their origin and significance continue to this day, but many questions remain unanswered. The stone spheres of Costa Rica stand as tangible evidence of the ingenuity and creativity of ancient civilizations, reminding us that the world is still full of countless wonders waiting to be uncovered. In the desolate deserts of Namibia, a unique natural phenomenon known as fairy circles captivates scientists and tourists alike. These patterns consist of circles on the surface of barren land, outlined by grass as if drawn by a contour. From above, they resemble honeycombs and range in diameter from a few meters to several tens of meters, covering extensive areas in Namibia. Local myths attribute these circles to divine intervention, while scientific explanations lean toward termite activity, plant survival competition, seepage of natural gases, and even radioactivity. None of these theories are conclusive, and Namibia continues to fuel scientific debates and amateur curiosity. Tourists are welcomed. These enchanting mysteries of nature still withhold answers to our questions. Lines that are clearly visible on the ground when viewed from above are called geoglyphs. Particularly large lines created by the ancient culture of Peru can be observed in the Nazca Desert. The intrigue deepens as aerial perspectives reveal a multitude of designs, including animals, plants, and geometric shapes etched into the desert floor. The question that baffles scientists is why and how a civilization nearly 2,000 years ago produced such massive works of art that can only be appreciated from a great height. This was seemingly impossible for the Nazca people, and the presumed religious or astronomical purposes of these lines remain unclear. They might have served as a gigantic observatory or an underground water map. There is a suggestion that the lines were part of complex rituals related to water invocation. Yet these theories fail to fully explain the scale, precision, and the rationale behind selecting specific symbols. How could such precise depictions be created on such grand scales at all? From an interplanetary airstrip to a colossal astronomical calendar, the Nazca Lines still give life to diverse hypotheses as one of the most monumental constructions on Earth, embodying another unresolved mystery of human history. The world of inexplicable stories is not limited to land. The sea also holds its share of mysteries. One of them is the sea around Hook Island in Australia. In a photograph taken in 1964 by Frenchman Robert Le Sirec during a family vacation on the Great Barrier Reef, as he claims, a sea monster was captured. The photo shows a massive creature resembling a giant cephalopod, with a length that was supposedly around 20 meters. We can discern in the shallows a huge dark form with a head, eyes, and a sinuous body structure. It was speculated that this could have been a prehistoric sea reptile, similar to a plesiosaur or a giant unknown species of eel. There were theories that it might have been a carefully orchestrated hoax, a plastic sheet twisted to resemble a sea monster. Despite persistent skepticism, the photograph captured the public's imagination, and for decades, Hook Island remained popular. The sea monster remains an unsolved mystery and a fascinating anecdote for cryptozoologists. And again, we will talk about cryptids, either fictional human-animal hybrids or creatures with a real prehistory. We don't know where to classify beings like the Fresno Nightcrawler, a white, two-legged creature with an extremely small body, a round head, and absolutely no arms, meaning its body is mostly legs. It's strange why nature would create something like this at all. This character first appeared in surveillance camera footage in Fresno, California, in the late 2000s. The footage shows a pair of short white legs of the creature walking on a lawn, and later the same creation was captured on video in Yosemite National Park. People once believed that the Fresno Nightcrawler was an Indian legend, but that's not true. Such legends weren't found among the Native Americans. Does this mean we're dealing with extraterrestrials? The form of these beings challenges the traditional explanations of all theories, from extraterrestrial life forms to folklore, or the possibility of the existence of cryptid organisms. They don't fit into any existing notion. It all seems too fantastical. Let's leave the conclusions to enthusiasts of mysticism and move on to the next enigma. A photograph taken in the 1920s, before the advent of digital manipulation capabilities, shocked society with an image of what appears to be a person levitating in the air. In this photograph, Colin Evans, a medium and spiritualist, is depicted conducting seances in the dark using only a camera with a flash to periodically illuminate the scene. We see him seemingly suspended in the air, surrounded by amazed spectators. Critics claim that the photograph was staged, possibly using concealed support structures or strings, but supporters of spiritualism consider it as evidence of Evans's mediumistic power. In any case, the photo serves as a historical reminder of the widespread fascination with supernatural forces and spiritualist seances at that time. It also highlights the boundaries that many were willing to cross to prove their chosenness. In 1911, a photograph emerged that sparked a storm of debates and speculations. It depicted an aircraft, a dirigible, an aerostat-controlled airship, seemingly hovering over the city of Huntington in the state of West Virginia. But what makes this photograph strange? It's the fact that the design of this dirigible, already advanced for its time, appeared in later years. We see that it has a streamlined shape, multiple propellers, and even the capability to carry a significant number of passengers. This contrasts dramatically with the first rudimentary dirigibles and small-capacity aerostats that marked the beginning of the era of aviation in the early 20th century. Furthermore, this model predates the construction of the first Zeppelin-type airship in the USA by several years. How can this photo be explained? One theory is that it was a pioneering high-tech invention, an unknown, ingenious inventor who simply surpassed their time. Some have speculated that it's the first photoshopped image, a precursor to early photo manipulation. However, no evidence of manipulation has been uncovered, although the photographer's identity remains unknown. Let this photograph remain a historical oddity that defies simple explanation, while containing a tantalizing glimmer of mystery yet to be unraveled. It's also an archive of aviation history. Diatlov Pass. Incident of 1959, infamously known to all who are interested in hiking and mountaineering, is preserved in photos as evidence. Although the incident of the group's disappearance remains one of the most mysterious events of our time, something might be partially clarified in the future. 9 experienced Russian travelers and mountaineers perished under extremely mysterious and chilling circumstances in the Ural Mountains. From the photos recovered from their cameras, only more questions arise, adding enigma to this event. One of the images shows a blurry figure behind a line of trees, resembling a yeti. Another disturbing photo taken on the expedition's last night reveals a mysterious light or halo in the dark sky. The incident itself remains unexplained, and the eerie final photographs of people destined to die fuel the persistent thought that this might involve either secret military experiments or supernatural entities. The Eileen Lighthouse on a rocky islet off the west coast of Scotland was built in 1899, and a year later, a tragedy occurred that still shrouds it in secrets and speculation, leaving the island uninhabited. In 1900, a mysterious episode took place. 3 experienced keepers took shifts at the lighthouse, and every 2 weeks, a ship visited with necessary supplies, serving as their only connection to the outside world. In December 1900, all 3 keepers disappeared mysteriously, leaving behind an aura of tragedy and lingering questions. A photograph discovered during the subsequent investigation further intensified the mystery. According to the crew of the ship Arctur, passing by the island on December 15, 1900, the lighthouse fire was no longer burning, as recorded in the ship's log. Stormy weather prevented the regular supply ship from reaching the lighthouse, and when it finally became possible, no one greeted the arriving crew. This photograph was already a harbinger of the ensuing catastrophe, and the ominous atmosphere hanging over the deserted lighthouse seemed to testify to the somber events. When the lighthouse was investigated, the suddenness of the disappearance was evident, as if no one had intended to leave. Plates with unfinished meals stood in the kitchen, furniture was overturned, and one of the 3 coats hung at the entrance. An experienced keeper wouldn't go out in December without proper attire. It remains unclear why the doors were securely closed in this situation. A search of the area yielded no results. However, subsequently studying the records of the keepers themselves raised suspicions that the relentless wild winds and storms compelled them to pray fervently and experience unexplainable animalistic fear. Could they have suffered from a collective delusion, or were they swept into the sea by a colossal storm? New evidence discovered at the pier, shreds of ropes that should have been stored in a special box, refutes a natural catastrophe. To this day, rumors and grim beliefs surround the ill-fated island, with reports supposedly coming from subsequent lighthouse keepers on Eileen Moor, describing a wind that called the names of the missing men. So, my friends, I think we can wrap it up for today. These were photographs that defy explanation. If you enjoyed this episode and would like to see something similar, please leave comments, give likes, subscribe to the TopFacts channel, and right now, take a look at one of the previous episodes that appeared on your screen.